The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 21st day of June, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamel Hartman. She Central Dorman. Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sancha, it was a long weekend. It was Bermuda Hero weekend. It was Carnival weekend. How are you?
I'm good. I definitely did not attend a lot of the, activities this weekend, but I saw,
Uh-oh.
what went on, and it looked like Bermuda is open. We are back to having events. People had a great time. I think everybody was like, listen, we've been in the house for 2 years and it's time. And
So you were out and about with the girl Gumbays?
just yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Yes, I said to Maddox we would go and see the Girl Gumbays, but I did not. I was supposed to do Juve. I saw Euphoria. I saw
I don't know what none of this is, but okay.
well, Jamal, it's not just one day. You know, the party started on Thursday and they led right up until yesterday. So
I wonder if the majority of people who partake like from Thursday on take a day off like today on like the Tuesday, because
listen,
I can imagine
people are going to be calling in sick for the week.
really.
Yes, from what I saw, and I follow certain people on Snapchat and Instagram. The one question I have is Carnival people, soca people, how are you able to stay up, party and drink from Thursday to Sunday? How does that work? Like, is there any preparation for this? Is there something that you do to help you? I saw one girl was like, I'm drinking my coconut water, I'm pacing myself. How does that work? Because one night out for about 3 hours and I feel like I'm beaten. I don't even drink. So how does this work?
I think honestly, I'm way past this day. Look, I can't handle 10 p.m. down South Beach, right? So I give a lot of credit to him. I don't know if it's the running on the beaches, whatnot, preparing you. Philip Trott says it's a commitment. Well, it seems like that. I mean, folks, this seems like a bigger commitment than to a spouse or a partner. Like, come on, damn, my body my body would be fighting me back. You know what I'm saying? My body's fighting me back. Like, bro, no, no, you're not doing that tonight. I rate you all. Seriously, I do.
Yeah. I saw even the Juve. I was just like, I wasn't sure how they did Juve. So I wouldn't say Juve started at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. And I was seeing videos well into like 9 a.m. where they were like going swimming and washing up. They have mudslides, they have powder. I saw fire. I was like, this is a great time had by all. But then they went and changed into these costumes, and the costumes were beautiful. Like one thing I can say, the bands definitely bought it in the costumes this year. They were amazing. And then on the road, and let's talk about the road. Whew. So I was made to understand that it was 3 laps and they started at 11 a.m.
Well, how many bands was it?
So from what I understand, I think it was 2. So I think it's Party People and Nova Mass. I was asking about Code Red. I don't think they were actually participating yesterday, and I could be wrong. If I am wrong, please correct me. But I saw I saw Nova Mass and I did see Party People. But I mean, it started 11 a.m. and I caught them. So Maddox and I went and sat by
That's
the
her son, folks. He, the
Listen,
girl Gumbe guy. Yeah, yeah. We see you, Karen Simmons. Karen Simmons talking about good morning, TDH. So the good lady Gumbe is online. Go ahead. I ain't throwing you out on the bus, Maddox.
listen, you know what Maddox said to his dad?
Uh-oh.
Maddox said, Daddy, all these girl gumbears around her are making me trip. Like, trip and fall. Yeah, because maybe you should be home. I don't know if this is like for you. But yeah, so we caught them on North Shore by the roundabout.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while to get there. But I understand. So it's always been said that on the road, Revel the Road, this is the first day that Party People and Nova Mass has done it.
Mm-hmm.
They always say that it's not for spectators, right? It's for
Mm-hmm.
the people that are participating. But I think we should rethink that a little bit, because if we're talking about making this something that's sustainable
Mm-hmm.
and making money, and I think we need to involve the spectators a little bit, because they took forever to get to us. And then when they got to us,
Mm-hmm.
what happened? It was a food stop. So then we were like,
Food stops during the parade? What?
I've never been to a carnival where they have food stops. It's
Nope.
like, you gotta get your food. Now, I've done carnival before in Canada, and it was like, get your food and drinks before you leave, and then you're on your road, right? And then when you finish, you eat again. It was a food stop. So, but then
Like just free grub, like anybody grabbing something from somewhere or something?
I
Or?
guess it was specifically for the people that were.
Let me just say this. I'm completely ignorant to carnival, folks. As much as I grew up loving soca and calypso and influenced by the family from South, like I've never partaken in a carnival. I've never been to one or seen. I mean, I've enjoyed the sights, pictures, and videos over the years, but I don't have any understanding of it. Samcat Play says the party done. I saw Sancha sitting. She is doing this next year, feathers and all. She goes on to say the energy level, Sancha, pacing yourself is the key, and hydration. So Samcat Plays. Samcat Plays. We've seen you play gumbears. I ain't see you in your carnival feathers. Did you have your feathers on? Well, what's up now?
She called me out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Philip Trott says, but in reality, not everybody does everything. Some do take the day off. That well, Phil, I'm just saying, somebody in team saw video of you. I don't know. I mean, I didn't know anybody from the Daily Hour crew was participating. I know Liana took a year off. Shara's taken about a year off. Sancha and Larry, and yeah, we do our thing. We're in the spectator section, but Phil, I need some evidence, because I don't know. Sherry could be lying on you, bro. I don't know. But let's get to the conversation, the discussion this morning, folks. Obviously, we have a discussion period, and this was there's always going to be comments, not necessarily naysayers, but there are a few people that feel like from the beginning, Carnival has taken away from what's supposed to be Bermuda's National Heroes Weekend, right? And so I personally, my own opinion, I feel like both can exist. They can coexist. But how can we implement our national heroes in carnival activities? Like, can we do something traditionally different and work with those who are behind putting on the events and say, this is Dan Liz Brown Evans party, or like not even party, but attach some sort of educational perspective. I know with our cop match camp many years ago, one of the things that I did is I printed the Emancipation Act, and anyone who entered our cop match camp would actually have to read this on our door. Yeah, we have a door for our camp, but they'd have to read the Emancipation Act as they entered. That was something that we felt like, you want a drink? You want something? Take a read of why, we actually are here on this Thursday or whatnot. So what are some of the things? What are your ideas? How can we implement our national heroes in carnival activities so that they're not forgotten? What are your thoughts on that, Sancha? I know you've got something on this.
I mean, for any event that I've done, and I've done really big events, no matter who we've brought to Bermuda, it is important. It's an element, and it's a discussion ahead of time that we have to have an education component. So there has to be a way in which we can implement it. But outside of that, how is Carnival enhancing our Bermudians? How are we saying, like, I know at one point they would have like a Bermuda designer that they would do their costumes that they design, but I feel like we have to have, like, how is this enhancing our culture? How is it enhancing what we're doing in Bermuda? Because right now, from what I see, and not saying that it's a bad thing, um, I just see a lot of drinking and partying, right?
Mm.
And yes, I've seen tourists. I see that we're getting people into Bermuda, but we have to find a way in order to enhance our culture some way, somehow. Now, if I'm wrong, please, like I say, please correct me, show me, school me, because I'm always open to that. But there has to be another element. And I'm
Yeah.
not quite sure what that is, but there has to be something.
Yeah. I know when we had just Jason Sogdeo on, I know the Bermuda Carnival, they did do quite a few things in terms of education. Don't quote me on what any of those things were, but he did speak in great length to that. I feel like, as reading some comments over the years, and especially to see, how Facebook allows you to reshare things that you put a couple years ago, someone reshared something and said, their sentiments remain today, because they still believe that the carnival per se is overshadowing something that was created to honor people who have enriched the lives of so many Bermudians. I don't think this is a controversial question. I think it's really straightforward. Like, how can we implement our national heroes in carnival activities? Maybe it's something, to go back to what you said regarding, find a way to enrich the lives of young people. Why is this holiday? Why does this holiday exist? Who was Gladys Morrow Missick, right? Missick Morrow. Like, who was Sir E.T. Richards? Like, things of that nature. Who's the only national hero who was honored while they were alive? And just learn about each person.
Maybe even, but with the, I don't know, in the costumes and stuff, they tend to tell a story, or supposed to tell a story.
Yeah. Philip Trotz says, under BHW, there used to be a roundtable discussion around the development of the culture. We could easily do something similar moving forward that could be focused on local heroes. What are your thoughts on? Yeah, and that's what it was. I remember Jason Sogdeo spent a lot of time discussing that with us. But what are your thoughts on something like that, Sancha?
Well, let me also say this. This one thing I had to take into account when I was kind of watching from a distance is that this is the first year that it hasn't been Jason Sogdeo and their organization. So a lot of what went on was probably new to these groups. And some of those things were probably just trying to get through the events, right? And I'm hoping that moving forward, that there are a lot of things that are thought about in lengths and details. Obviously, they're going to debrief and talk about what they can do different and what they can do better. And this is probably something that they should be discussing. How can we implement our heroes into this and make this event more about our culture? Because from what I see, we're just taking what we see from other countries and what they've done, and we're bringing it to Bermuda and saying it's our carnival, right? But how do we make it unique to Bermuda?
Yeah, I get that. Shikarena says schools can design floats and compete using cultural themes. Didn't they used to do that? Teresa Emery says, love the costumes, especially the feathers and the music vibes too, but nothing like Rio Carnival. Bermuda is another world. I heard it gets down in Brazil, folks. I heard they get down.
But I was thinking, you remember like May 24th when Troy and Ming used to have those costumes and parade? Maybe this is a place to bring, and when I say like telling the stories of, our heroes and their life, and this is the place to kind of do it. Like, those costumes used to be beautiful. They used to be like over the top.
Yeah. Sam Cat Place says, it's not for spectators. When has there been anything on during this weekend? Only a boat race. What does that do? Absolutely nothing. The money we spend is in such a judgy island. Well, interestingly enough, Sam Cat Place, I did come across some comments yesterday about the race saying that race is in honor of a black sailor and probably more important to our culture than carnival. Again, this is just stuff that I'm reading. So, it's interesting. You say, what does that do? Absolutely nothing. And here are people some of our elders saying that race is probably a more educational component. So how can we actually, instead of us taking sides, how can we incorporate all of that into one? Like, how can we incorporate the national heroes? How can we incorporate this race that, as stated by someone, reflects a black sailor? And I don't know. I'm just sharing.
From a production standpoint, what they could have done, their raft up was on Saturday, right?
Mhm.
Why don't we switch things around? And I remember when, because I was brought up on the water. So I remember this, that day, yesterday used to be like the first day of summer where people actually got on the boats, got on the water, and you followed the
Yep,
sailboats.
I remember.
We used to go down to St. George's, spend the day down St. George's on the boat, and then come back up and then go to the lake. This is before like the water became, as they say, lit.
Yeah.
So we can change today. How about we do our raft up on the Sunday where we are actually encouraging people and teaching them, like, listen, this is important to us as well. Let's not compete against, let's join forces and maybe have, travel the road on the Saturday. It's ways around it. So
Yeah, I think again, I stick by what I said. I think all of it can coexist. I think, one thing I really loved, and I've loved almost every year about Carnival, is I love to see people having safe fun, like everyone just out having fun. There's no conflict, no issues, at least on the surface. I mean, maybe things did happen, but I love to see people smiling and having fun, especially over, the last 2 years haven't been easy. They haven't been easy. So to see people out having fun, but at the same time, I get the concerns of people. I get concerns of the elders. We can have fun without losing, part of who we are.
Yeah.
I agree. To do it. How can we implement our national heroes in Carnival activities? And just Sam Cat, please, just want to go back to your comment about the nothing, being done during this weekend. Well, growing up, I remember it was Queen's birthday. They had the parade with the regiment. They had the dinghy race, east to west to east. Every other year it rotates, and so there were things that took place. They probably just weren't highlighted like they are today. But what's that?
Do they still do the parade with the regiment?
Yeah, they do it like they did it last week, I think. It's usually done on the closest to her actual birthday now, but they still do it. But again, no hoopla about it because, I mean, truth be told, it can't compete with Carnival weekend. If they still had it that weekend, it just wouldn't make sense, right? But that said, I think they can coexist. I truly do believe that Carnival is a good thing for Bermuda in many respects. Not only do we need that kind of boost entertainment-wise in Bermuda, but economically, Bermuda can use events like that to attract people. I love it. It's good, safe fun on the surface, and long may it continue. Now, I see some people saying that, happy first day of summer, everyone. Happy birthday to Sherry. And then Rosalind Famous says, happy first day of summer. Well, Sancha, because I'm not a grumpy guy, right? They call me all these names. They used to call me all these names.
Are you not?
Really? Wow. Anyway, so I've asked Sister Sherry to stop by today on her day off. Speaking of day off, stopping by, every time someone does something on a day off, it just makes me think of the movie Friday, how Craig got fired on his day off. And I'm just thinking of Sherry, like what's she going to do to get, checked out of here? Because the short jokes, if she's not working, the short jokes are just rude and offensive, right? So Sancha, please check her if she runs by one of the short jokes, all right? So we're going to bring Sister Sherry in and sing a little happy birthday to her. You know what? Let's bring Leanna in first because Leah's got to warm up her vocals. I'm saying vocals. Let's bring Lee in. Good morning, Sister Lee. How are you?
Good morning. And yes, happy Earth Day to our Sister Sherry. The first day of summer, you're bringing in the heat, I hope.
Oh, no, I don't want that heat. And her, she'll bring the snow. But anyway, Lee, real quickly, it's not true this rumor I heard about you this weekend, right?
It's not. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm just going to go ahead and say absolutely not.
That look like the ones you had on Friday's show, and they're like, I think I saw Leanna chipping down the, that's chipping, right? That's what they say.
Chipping. Correct.
Chipping down the road. I was like,
I'm gonna be like Shaggy. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
all right, yeah, okay. It wasn't Lee. But anyway, Lee, I'm so sorry. You've been like in prison and home for like the last month or so. And Sancha and Sherry been talking about, you know what I'm saying? You know, she won't, don't want to listen. You know, it's just gonna have to stay in. So I'm like, no.
Such a liar.
Why are you like this? We are a unit. Stop it. The divisiveness.
Be the troublemaker in the team. But anyway, you guys want to warm up? Like, do you need a warm up?
Yeah, we're singing to Sherry this morning.
Okay, let's bring Sister Sherry in.
That's all we had to sing.
Good morning, Sister Sherry. How are you?
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
How old are you?
I say it. I am 48, fine and fabulous. It's the first day of summer, the best day of the year.
Okay.
Yes.
48 looking months, 83. Okay, all right. So Sister Sherry, a little something that I want to share with you since you're here.
Oh.
You know, a little something. So let's sit back. Get your tissues, folks.
I was gonna say, get the tissues ready because
we're all big babies. We're all big babies. Here we go. Over to you, Sister Sherry.
Happy birthday, Aunt Sherry. Have a good one. We love you.
Happy birthday, Sherry. I can't wait to celebrate with you next week. But in the meantime, enjoy your day. Love you.
Hope you have a great one. Love you.
You know, Sister Sherry, some strangers just emailed me this weekend with your birthday, and so I said, well, let me put a little video together for you. So that was Sherry's nephew, that was her mother, and that was her sister who sent her birthday wishes, folks. And we all wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
She's celebrating. She said, celebrate with you next week. Where you going? Or who's
well, my mom will be here, and if you all don't know, she runs marathons, so she's going to be doing the Peachtree Road Race.
Oh.
So yes, and I'll be spectating.
I was gonna say, you're not participating? No.
No, and no wonder she's like, I don't see you on the show yet. How come you're not, Mama?
She is a part of the setup there. I'm just saying.
Oh, I love Jacqueline's comment here.
No,
you really do have a soft spot for your team.
They always got to call me out.
Thank you, guys.
They always got to do that. Can you just let me be hard?
Well, I'm going to spend my day on a relaxing, mani-pedi and going around to places where I get free stuff today. It's the American way.
That's the right way, Sherry. I love it.
Well, so let me ask you. Over the last year, what is something that personally you have done that's made you feel like this was a great year, this was one of my best years? What was something you've done? And then what is something you're looking forward to doing over the next year of your life?
Oh, I really got to, think about this. But no, actually, Jamal, I would say being on this show for this last year has been a tremendous blessing, and I'm very grateful for it. I've learned so much, met so many new people, and yeah, this is one of the highlights of my year thus far.
And
you're involved in it, Jamal. You see that?
I mean, you all. Yeah. So tell me, what is something you've not done? You're now 48, as you stated, that you want to experience this year. That's going to make your year great. Don't say jump on an airplane, please.
No, I don't do heights, but
Okay.
travel. It does involve a airplane. I really figured that I haven't traveled enough at 48, and I really need to see more of the world. Tomorrow is not promised,
Mhm.
and I want to at least go out, have seen some of the world at some
Mhm.
point. I don't have any children, so there's no little means left to kind of torment Jamal and other people. So I definitely need to go sprinkle a little bit of sherry dust and sherry shake all over the
Oh,
world.
I love that.
I could teach you how to hop and bounce, folks. I could teach you. I could teach you. That's
Nobody
scary.
knows
Look like me, look.
It don't look like that anyway.
that.
Sherry,
Yeah, it does.
please do. See, Santa, I'm just, why? I'm getting ganged up on, folks. Sister Cherry, may
Yes.
you enjoy your birthday. Wishing you many more years of health and happiness. And don't do anything I won't do. All right?
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you to the audience. I appreciate it. Wouldn't have wanted to spend my morning with anybody else but you
Yeah,
guys.
up on your
Thank you.
day off like this. Ain't that
Enjoy it,
I
Sherry.
will go into Starbucks. Oh, Janelle, remember, I went to see a taping of The Feud, so I'm
oh, yeah.
good.
She went on
I
Family Feud yesterday, folks. So I'm gonna be looking out
yeah,
for her.
Oh,
I
Okay.
was in the audience. I was in the audience.
You didn't have to tell them. We could make them, look for you like you were a guest. All right, folks, let's move on. Sherry, enjoy your birthday,
Thank
sister.
you, guys.
Sorry about Sancha and Liana's vocals. They weren't up to par this morning, but
No, you messed it up. If anybody messed it up, you were
thank
dragging
you.
us back. You
Thank
wanted to
you.
do high speed, fast pace, and
And then you came out of nowhere with some next sound and tune when we was on a whole different other song.
I love it. I love it.
anyway. See you later, Sherry. Have a good birthday. I'm
Bye,
Thank you,
Sherry.
guys.
just on Sherry's birthday. Lee, you ready for the news break?
I am. You know what? I was gonna do a whole recap of, Carnival, but I think you and Sancha kind of just blew it out the water for me. So I'm gonna skip that part because it just brings tears to my eyes that I couldn't be there. So I'm gonna move on.
Our fathers took a year off, folks. Lee, over to you.
Thanks, Jamal and Sancha. And again, happy Earth Day to you, our sister Sherry. Good morning to all of those of you who are tuned in with us this morning. I hope everyone had a great long weekend and have recovered somehow and are ready for the upcoming week. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, in today's top stories, tributes are pouring in this morning for Olga Scott, a woman who championed a charity for at risk young women and was a kind and passionate woman who exemplified the very essence of public service and has sadly passed away. Premier David Burt paid tribute over the weekend to Mrs. Scott, the wife of former Premier Alex Scott and mother of Robin Eve and Lawrence Scott, who is the transport minister. Mrs. Scott was made a member of the Order of the British Empire in 2009 for her services to the health, education, and development of Bermuda's youth. Now, Mr. Burt hailed her as the visionary behind teen services and the fulfillment of its mission to provide support and counseling to teens and young mothers. In other news, tragedy hit the Newport Bermuda race on Sunday when a veteran sailor died after being swept overboard 325 miles from the island. Now, race authorities reported that the victim was identified as Cullen Golder of New Providence, New Jersey, the captain of the yacht Morgan of Marietta, a 42-foot sloop. Now, organizers posted online shortly before 8 p.m. that day that the tragedy had been reported by the Fleet Communications Office, with Mr. Golder's next of kin notified. The vessel's crew reported that Mr. Golder went overboard early that afternoon in strong winds and did not survive. Mr. Golder's body was recovered after extended effort, and the vessel headed back to the mainland. Now, news reports in the U.S. identified the victim as the owner and the captain of the sailboat. The 635-mile race from Newport, Rhode Island to Bermuda began on Friday with a fleet of 187 vessels. And a 20-year-old man had been taken to hospital following a crash on Harrington Sound Road in the early hours of yesterday morning. Now, emergency services were called to the incident, which happened around 3:40 a.m. on Harrington Sound Road in Smiths Parish, just east of Harrington Sound Primary School. Now, the vehicle was reportedly traveling west when it appears the driver lost control of it while negotiating a turn. He was found in an unresponsive state. Medics attended to the young man, who was transported to hospital via ambulance for treatment for head injuries. Now, the extent of those injuries are still unknown. Investigations are underway, and anyone with information is asked to contact police at their earliest convenience. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 78 and a low near 72 degrees. We can expect a cool northerly breeze and low humidity with a mix of sun and clouds today. Now, high pressure continues to nudge in from the west and holds a nearly stationary boundary just far away enough to the southeast to maintain dry weather through midweek. Now, the potential for showers increases towards the end of the week as the high recedes to the north and the nearly stationary boundary to our southeast slowly returns to our area as an inverted trough. That's all for our Daily Hour news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sancha in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right, thanks so much for that, Leanna. And also, just want to give send condolences to the family of Minister Lawrence Scott. I remember his mom. She was actually a guest on my radio show about 13, 14 years ago, probably. And I learned so much about teen services when she came on back then. So condolences to him, his father, former Premier Alex Scott, and also the Newport to Bermuda race, folks. I did see some video of it starting the other night, and a lot of people may know that a boat literally arrived the next day on Saturday night, but definitely unfortunate to hear about a death. They say that track to Bermuda is one of the roughest out there. So it's not an easy race, but you never want to hear news like that. So condolences to everyone who participated, knowing that you're in a race and something like that happened must be tough, but especially the family of the person who lost their life. Sancha, you've got some days of the year for us?
I do.
Yes, please brighten up my newscast. Please.
It's a fun one. I said, let's pick something fun. Today is National Selfie Day. Check your hair, find your light, strike your pose. It is National Selfie Day. And I am welcoming our guests to take a selfie and tag us.
Ooh, I like that.
That would be so much fun.
I like
that.
Yeah. So all our viewers today, if you can take your selfie and tag the Daily Hour.
I love it.
And we can repost.
Yeah, take a selfie with the Daily Hour on in the background and tag us. Let's do it. I like that, Sancha.
Yes.
That is pretty fun. And we needed to lighten it up. Lee, thank you so much.
So sorry. I was like, Sancha, please bring something fun, because that newscast after such a beautiful long weekend. I am so sorry, people. I am so sorry.
Happy birthday.
I know.
Everything.
And Debbie Donna over here. My
She
bad.
means well, folks. She means well. It's all lovely. You can't control what's happening, but thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
See you guys soon.
All righty, folks. We've got Damon DeGraff coming up. I'm always excited to speak to Damon. And folks, if you were out, it's chipping, right? Chipping the road. I'm gonna get this carnival terminology down. If you out chipping, if you out performing, if you want to be like Rusty G, if you're looking to be like Fire Wayne and Mr. Photogenic, get into this conversation coming up. Young Bermudians, if you know somebody talented, get them to tune in. This is
Jamal, that Damon is like one of my besties. Did you know that?
Oh, I feel for him. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. It comes out, Sancha. It comes out. I can see why, though. Like, folks, if you know Sancha, go on our website. Sancha's now up there. Read a bit about her. Did you see your profile?
I read my profile. I didn't see my picture yet, though.
Your picture's on there, player.
And listen, I have phone issues. We're not going to get into that.
Well, at least
my phone is as slow as you.
Wow. Okay, folks, we're taking a break. Just on one. We'll be back with Damon DeGraff. Go anywhere.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be.
I choose Peoples, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it Peoples. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. Peoples, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
Just in time for the heat of summer, John Barrett & Son, Bermuda's leading beverage distributor, is bringing back an old favorite, White Rock Sparkling Beverages. Maybe the trademark rings a bell with you baby boomers. White Rock Ginger Ale, with the little caricature of Psyche, a mythical fairy-like character on the label, stood tall among the products of the big corporations. White Rock is a 6th-generational old family business who will bring back some much-needed old-school refreshment this summer. Try White Rock Ginger Ale and a rainbow of flavors in bottles and cans. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show, Sencha Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed on our website so you don't miss out on, well, chance for updates, promotions, prizes, and more. We're going to be giving away a lot more prizes as we enter into the summer space. Summertime. It's our Christmas on this show. If you're on the go and you can't watch us, be like the others who are tuned in online, BCG Radio. The app is available for both Android and Apple devices. You can listen to us every time we go live, and Sherry and Sencha throw insults at my innocent self. All right, folks, innocent. I don't deserve it. I don't see nothing. Hey, morning, ladies, What?
From innocent.
Well, I don't know what she's talking about. Folks, let's bring in our guest for today. We've got one of my favorites, and unfortunately for him, one of Sencha's friends. Let's bring in Damon DeGraff to the show. Good morning, good brother.
Good morning. How you guys doing? I've been very entertained this morning. Thank you very much. It's been an entertaining show so far.
Yeah, well, thank you. Hopefully not at my expense, but
Hi, Sancha. How are you?
Hi, Day. I'm good. I'm happy.
Sancha is one of my very good friends. We go way back. So
Yes.
Okay.
I'm excited to see her on the show. I don't tune in as much as I would like to because it's a little too early for me, but knowing she's there makes me very happy. So.
Let's speak about that. It's obviously you're not based in Bermuda, but for those who may have not seen you the numerous times you've been on previously, or are not big on social media, just explain to people exactly who you are and what you do in the industry.
Okay, I'll give the quick elevator pitch. So I run a management and production company by the name of DGI Management. We manage everything from big DJs that DJ all over the world to we manage recording artists, we manage casts, we manage, what else do we manage? Paulie D, Rev Run, Jermaine Dupree, a bunch of other people in that space. And the business ranges obviously from, shows to anything from fashion to nightclubs in Vegas to festivals all over the world.
That's huge. I mean, again, some people may be sitting back. What does manage mean? You said it could be fashion, festivals, getting somebody a residency probably in Vegas.
Yeah.
But obviously, when you think about it, the industry was hard hit during the pandemic, especially from being able to perform concerts and entertaining in person. Some people went virtual with some different things, which are probably not as rewarding. How have you seen the industry shift since the pandemic?
The industry's back. I mean, as they say, we outside or we open or whatever those terminologies, but things are back in motion. I mean, Cash just did a show in DC and it was a few thousand people, I mean, you wouldn't have thought that there even was a pandemic, you know? So I think things are definitely back in motion. You know, I don't know what are the protocols for, if there are any at this point, even because it seems like the world is back open. But things are back in motion. I mean, it's definitely not what it once was.
I want to go back to the first question, because I just know, as you're speaking about managing, why does a musician, and Cass, folks, Cass has been a part of Bermuda Carnival in the past. Cass in the band, he first came out with What List, that not first came out, but a lot of people may remember him when he first came out with What List. But how important is the role that you play for musicians and artists? Like, why would someone say, you know what, I need a music management company?
You know, I always say, like, the manager is kind of like the liaison between the artist and the client, right? Because I think there's a lot of times when you want the artist just to be the artist, and there's certain language, a certain talk, a certain dialect that you need to speak between, you know, whether the client being the promoter, whether the client being a fashion brand, whether the client being a record label, whatever those things are. I feel like we're the ones that kind of hold it all together, right? Like, we're the ones that kind of talk the language. We're the ones that kind of even break down to the artists kind of what, you know, say that client is talking about, because sometimes it can be a kind of miscommunication. I mean, I've had that time with clients that I've stopped working with, and I've had other clients call me back and say, you know what, I'll never work with them ever again, just because they've kind of lost that, you know, like, there's no middleman, right? There's no liaison to be able to kind of bridge the two together to make it cohesive.
What's the biggest misconception people outside of the industry have about this industry?
I think they tend to glorify it in a way, you know, because I think they see the end result and they think the end result is it, you know. I don't think people really see all that it takes to get to that level, right? You know, like, I had an artist with me in LA a few weeks ago, and you know, he had a great moment, right? In terms of, like, first time to the US, you know, was performing at the Soho House, had him at Coachella, had him at all these things. So, you know, especially with social media, it tends to seem like it's much bigger than it was, right? And not taking anything away from those moments, but there's still so much work for this artist to do in this space to get to that level. And I think people tend to look at things times and see, like, oh, well, they've made it because of one or two things, but there's so much work that goes into getting to what is that final result, you know? And I think now, especially because of social media, I think people tend to, you know how they say, fake it till you make it. And it's not knocking anybody for doing that, but I think there's still so much work that goes into becoming a success.
And I mean, there are lots of Bermudians that obviously are trying to get in this lane now, with entertainment and music. What advice would you have for them?
I always tell people to really, I think it's two things. Really, really understand if this is something that you really, really want, right? Because I think if it's something that you really want, I think it takes hard work, it takes dedication, and it takes a ton of sacrifice. And I think people don't really understand that times as well. And I would say, once you can understand that, then I say you have to give it everything to get to that point. Because I think people just think, again, because of that misconception or from what people see on social or whatever, they think, oh, well, you know, my mama said I can sing, or they said I could sing in church, like, I'm going to make it. And it's like, no, like, especially coming from places where, you know, we don't have, and, you know, that's Bermuda. I mean, that could be Wisconsin, that could be any small market. When you don't have the resources or the outlet, it's even that much harder. You know what I mean? If you don't have that focus and that drive for yourself, because there are going to be times when it's not going the way that you want it to go. I mean, there's people that have deals, there's people that are successful that things aren't going the way that they want it to go, but you have to remember your why. And if you don't have a why, then it's kind of like, to be honest, you shouldn't really be doing it. Like, or just, do it for fun, like do it as a hobby, but not as a career.
Right. Now, I ran into your dad the other day, and he told me that he was traveling to you because you were having a special moment.
Yes. That made them very happy. And to be honest, it made me happy as well. I think I was honored by the Brooklyn Music School for my contribution to the industry. And, I think for me, I don't know, I think recently more than any, I've kind of wanted to like applaud myself in some sense, because I think a lot of times we work behind the scenes or we do so much that, you're just kind of going for it. You're going for it. You're like going for it, right? So I think anytime you can be acknowledged by your peers, I think it was a good, like, okay, Damon, like you've really done something. And it felt good. Yeah. So I was presented with an award amongst a few other honorees. And yeah, they were very excited about it. I got a little plaque and I had to give a speech. It was a good moment. It was a very good moment for me.
Day, you're downplaying this. Like, I got a little plaque, and like you were honored by the.
I mean, I'm a humble soul, so so I got a plaque, and it was an amazing evening to be acknowledged by my peers.
I'm proud of
and
you.
It felt really good.
But I want to jump in because Sancha's absolutely right. Damon, someone reached out to me about you months ago, and they said, we always talk about honoring Bermudians and doing things, and I don't think people quite understand how, like, what this gentleman has done. And I'm going to be honest. We've had conversations on this show, and I'm like, he's done some pretty cool things. But when they break it down to you, and I've never seen you ask for accolades or want to be respected by Bermuda and Bermudians and recognized. And I feel like when you're doing something you love, when you're good at something that you love, you don't need to beg for recognition. You're not even interested in sharing this stuff. But I'm so happy that it hasn't become one of these things where you're fighting for this as a part of your journey. Rather, it's being given to you because it's earned, it's just. And for that, congratulations on this latest award. And I'm sure there's more to come. Sancho, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, thank you. And I actually feel that because I think for me, I've always kind of been on a if you know type of vibe, and I feel like my work is always spoken. And I feel like who needs to know will acknowledge it, and they will kind of, either know where to find me or, know who I am. But I'm never like look at Damon, like this is what he is. It's kind of like, if you know, right? And if you know, then you're in the place to know, and that's what it is. So,
indeed.
Yeah.
So who are some of the Bermudians that you would like to work with someday? That's a big question.
That's a good question. I've been actually, he's a good friend of mine, and we've been kind of working on a few things and talking about even doing more. But Corey Miners is a really amazing DJ and producer. And I know he's starting to release a bunch of music internationally as well, that I think is good. I mean, to be honest, in terms of other artists, I don't really know that many at this point, to be honest. Like I hear there's people doing things here and there, but I always say, like, I would love to know and I would love to help. I always say, like, I've been at a point where in the first part of my career, it had to be about me, right? Like, meaning like I had to get to a point of getting Damon to a level of where I could even help anybody, right? And I think now that I'm at that level, I'm open to listen and hear anybody that I think is serious about it, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not or have the time to be like, well, I sing and I don't want to whatever. Like, you know, like it's like I said earlier, like if you're about the craft and you're about really putting in the work, if you're really about having and taking constructive criticism about what your music is or what your craft is and how that can be better, and you're, you know, really, really about it, then I'm open to help. I'm open to listen, because I feel like that's my duty at this point, you know, is to be able to give back to a country that I love and to help, you know, possibly export some talent that I think could possibly have it if they want it. You know, I can't want it more than they want it. And I think that's what any executive across the world would say to any artist. I can't want it more than you want it, you know? So, but yeah, I'm open.
I don't know if you remember. I remember Damon. I want to say it was like one of your first DJ gigs, and Damon was like, "Come on, Sam, let's go." And it was like this DJ gig down in like Soho, and it was like the first time Damon had like DJ, and I was there. And when I tell you, he had a blast. Yeah,
I like DJ as a hobby too. So that's my little, you know, that's my little get my rocks off type of vibe. But yeah.
So DJ is a hobby to you, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I love music, right? You know, and I think for me, it's almost like meditation in a sense, because it kind of locks me into a space of kind of giving. You know what? I'll say I'm more of a selector in that, right? You know what I mean? Like, in no way would I take away from some of the greats that really, really do it. I mean, you know, I like know what I'm doing, but for me, it's more just the love of the music that allows me to give that to like the world at any time.
Audience, if you have any questions or comments for Damon, please share them. I will get through as many as possible. Mark Arthur C. Phillips is asking, how long did it take to have relationships with the gatekeepers of the entertainment industry?
That's a good question. So I tried to get in for a while. My first internship was at ASCAP, which is a performance rights organization, and I didn't have a clue to what I was doing, to be honest. I thought you just intern and then you get a job, right? I had to learn that very quickly. But then I got an internship for a company called Chiba Sound, which was, they had D'Angelo and a DJ producer by the name of Mark Ronson. And so for me, it was a interesting place because the industry, from the music business sense, it was tough to get into, right? Because it was a very kind of niche, who you know type of vibe. And for a kid coming from Bermuda, I didn't know anybody when I moved to New York. But I think luckily, and by God's grace, to be honest, I got into this company that was small, but still had these kind of powerful artists. And so for me, once I got in there, I was able to kind of navigate my way through it, you know? So I don't really have a time span exactly, but I would say it is about kind of networking and kind of putting yourself out there to connect those dots for yourself.
Damon, honestly, I can listen to your story over and over like it's the first time. I just think it's something about Bermudians too. And I always say this: grow beyond their environment. And grow beyond your environment to me doesn't mean leaving Bermuda physically. It just means mindset. It means like ability to actually go into spaces that you don't normally find us in and to be successful. I love it. I honestly do. We have a question here, and I think you've kind of already answered it. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, in the entertainment industry, is it true the cream rises to the top? Do you need more than just talent to make it in the entertainment industry? But I want to take it a step further. What is that, like, that key thing? Like, we had Conno Smith on last year, and he said, look, hundreds of players have talent, but how many of you have that one little thing? You know, like, what's that one little thing in this industry someone needs more than talent to make it?
That's true. I think, yeah, talent is talent, but yeah, there's a million people that are talented that will never make it. I think, well, I would say it's a couple of things. I think it's the desire, But I think some people just have this star nature, right? You know what I mean? Like this bigger than life, like I want it no matter what, right? You know what I mean? And I think to have that, I think it's key because it's like part cockiness, but also part confidence as well, right? You know, and going into any situation with, I mean, it's almost like, I don't know if anybody saw the Kanye documentary, but it's almost like that in a way. Like, it's like, no matter what, one, I'm going to make it, but no matter what, I'm the greatest thing that you've ever seen, whether you think it or not. And I think a lot of times people go into, yeah, well, I can sing and it's, you know, like it's, but I don't know. It's like, no, like I can sing and I'm the greatest thing that you will ever hear, right? You know what I mean? And so it's that confidence that I think carries people through. But you also have to have some talent too. You can't be confident and be horrible, right? You know what I mean? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who have that confidence, and it's like, well, you know what? You shouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I used to watch American Idol. William Hung, I love the brother's confidence, but I swear it ain't gonna work out like that. Damon, honestly, thank you for this. I'm sure we'll be asking you again very soon.
Thank you. I feel like I'm an honored member at this point, so absolutely. I truly appreciate every time you guys invite me on the show. So
no problem. Knowing that you have a relationship with Sancha and Sherry, we definitely want to make sure that if you have any updates, if you're being honored, that we do know, because we want to celebrate you. You know, we say on our website, we're here to celebrate Bermuda and Bermudians, and not necessarily the people that, you know, want people out there bragging on, or they're going to tell their own story. We'll do it for you. We want to do that because we believe that you deserve that.
And thank you for that. And I think we should celebrate more. But, you know, there's tons of Bermudians doing amazing things. And I think, you know, that's part of who we are. And that's part of what we should shine light on. Because I think as we do that, then that gives kind of the next generation, that gives them the opportunities, or even gives them like the hope to say, oh, well, he did that or she did that. I can do that too in telling those stories. So thank you guys for always sharing that. I think it's definitely something for the culture, and they need that. So
no problem. Damon DeGraff, folks. Thanks again, Damon.
Awesome. Much love.
All righty. Damon DeGraff, if you appreciated that conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Please share these kind of conversations. That brother, boy, we're going to come back, wrap it up. Daily Play, she's not getting away from that. She was on fire on Friday, so we're coming back with a vengeance with the Daily Play today. Yeah, you can shake your head all you want.
Stick with you. I'm obviously good at that.
We'll be back. Don't go nowhere, folks.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
I'm part of the SSCP, giving us opportunities to go out and sell, which is what I'm doing today.
One of the most important things I learned in the SSCP is that failure is just a part of being an entrepreneur.
As a vote community, then you can't go anywhere, can you?
I just believe it's a really beautiful and amazing experience for everybody.
A lot of late nights being up, trying to finalize things, especially for me.
You don't have to do everything at once. Little steps is the key to success.
They helped me go through every step of the way.
It has helped me gain more confidence, so that's one thing.
I'm Marley Spriggs and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Joshua Allen and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Trey Robertson Richards and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Namira Rayner and I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Vincent Darrell and I am an entrepreneur.
I'm Shayla Swan and I'm an entrepreneur.
I am Sophia Paxenhan. I am an entrepreneur.
My name is Zion, and I'm a young entrepreneur.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to One Communications, Linda's People's Pharmacy and Medical House. Folks, if you haven't already, make sure you give us a thumbs up or love a like for today's show. Also, have you registered to be a part of the exclusive TDH community yet? If not, what are you waiting for? Sign up today to enjoy the benefits of activities and events that we'll have going on throughout the year. Go to our website, thedailyhour.com, and click register right on our homepage. And again, it's exclusive. Once we reach a certain number, there will be no more entries. Sancha, it's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Are you ready?
Let's have it, Jamal.
All right, she's ready, folks. She's ready. Here we go. Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. All right. All right. All right.
What is it though? We haven't even what is it?
It's a remember when.
Okay.
All right, here we go. It's a remember when. Who is the only Progressive Labor Party premier who did not contest an election as party leader?
I don't know. I don't know.
No one knew the answer to that. Interesting. Someone got it. All right. So it's it wasn't Dame Lewis Brown Evans. Mark Bean was never the premier of Bermuda. Mark Bean was never the premier of Bermuda. It was Alex Scott, the Honorable Alex Scott, who was in office from July 29, 2003, after the election, which was led, Jennifer Smith, Dame Jennifer, led the PLP2 in 2003. He became leader, and he was leader until October 30th, 2006, which is when Dr. Brown replaced him and contested the election in 2007. So the answer to today's question is former Premier, the Honorable Alex Scott, is the only Premier of Bermuda for the PLP that has never contested an election. All right. That was a trick one. I got a lot of people on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's wrap up today's show. Any final thoughts on discussion and then our guests, Sandra?
Today's been a good show. I have enjoyed the conversation. Obviously, I am happy to see Bermuda open. I'm happy that we are open to events, and the amounts of international artists and international DJs that were in Bermuda this weekend, along with people visiting. It's refreshing to see. Yeah. I know that I think that the organizers need to come back to the drawing board and see how we can make it more Bermudian. I think that's a key takeaway.
Have a little Bermudian touch.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And as far as Damon is concerned, Damon has always been a favorite of mine. I mean, I remember back in the day, Damon and I was planning on being a DJ, and Damon was supposed to give me lessons. So Damon is awesome, and I love to see the progression of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Damon has done things that he hasn't even touched on or talked about, and just his humbleness, right? He's so comfortable within his space and his success, and he's just so humble about it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I do. And back to Carnival, look, I think it has injected life in Bermuda, but I do think that people have valid concerns. How can we integrate national heroes into the festivities? How can we integrate maybe the sailing race? How can we, integrate things? Or are they better off separate and segregated? Damon DeGraff, I can't speak enough about the amount of people that give this gentleman plaudits. And I'm not talking about just anybody. I'm talking about people in spaces in Bermuda that have earned the right to be where they are. They're very respected, that know him and about him. It's amazing to see what he has accomplished in such a quiet way. And what I mean by a quiet way is if you ask the majority of Bermudians under 30, probably under 40, who is Damon DeGraff, they probably won't know. But I'm telling you, he is someone that you want to know. If you're looking for a career, not just in music or entertainment, but just hearing his story, understanding how he's been able to succeed in certain spaces, coming from small little Bermuda, it may inspire you. Sancha, you've got some daily inspiration for us?
I do. Don't be afraid, be focused, be determined, be hopeful, and be empowered. And that's by Michelle Obama.
Oh, I like that. Don't be afraid.
Exactly.
Empowered. Folks, we've got a big one tomorrow. We've got Dr. Maria Seaman coming on, speak about the state of Christianity in Bermuda. Looks like the Premier David Bert's stopping by on Thursday. So some big conversations coming up that you all won't want to miss. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sancha Durham. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, please do make it a safe and great day. She still don't have a mug, but it's all good. There you go.